afternoon, everyone. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. I represent about 300 researchers, both tenured academics, postdocs, PhD students across seven faculties at the University of New South Wales that are all concerned about the management of marine and fresh waters. We recognise from the outset that it's one of those wicked problems. And as a chemical engineer, I know that I'm only equipped to deal with a small part of that problem. And so working collectively at the university scale is the only way we know we're going to have impact. Australia, like Africa, is dealing with a changing climate. And our modelers tell us, and which is being borne out by experience, that our rain events are going to become more intense, but they're going to be further apart. So we're probably going to have to deal with the same volume of water. It's just going to be available on a different temporal and spatial scale. So as we begin to think about working with developing countries and working with Africa and forging partnerships, we have to take this notion of uncertainty, this notion of complexity, and build it into a program that can be scaled. And just like water as a wicked problem requires a multidisciplinary approach, scaling things requires partnership and leadership. And certainly sitting in Australia, there isn't a chance I'd have of having an impact in Africa if we didn't work closely with people from Africa and for people in the community. And this has been the approach, to forge partnerships, to involve people that we have a connection with. And so I'd just like to take some time today to talk about one aspect of SDG 6, not the sanitation, which is really important in Africa, and Africa's making great strides to deal with that aspect, but in what water enables. Water enables the production of food. Water enables the development of economies. Water, or good water management, prevents conflict. And I'd like to look at those three issues. The first is some work that's done in partnership with one of the reserves in Botswana on the Okavango. It's led through a collaboration between some of the local tourist operators and conservation groups with members of what's called the Plus Alliance, the University of New South Wales, Arizona State University and King's College London. It focuses on ecology. It focuses on sustainable water management that maintains healthy ecosystems. They're critically linked to the health and the profitability of the tourism industry. Without the water, you won't get the animals. Without the animals, the tourists won't come to Botswana. It's a big part of their economy. The work is about capacity building. It's about taking expertise in ecological management from the three international universities and melding it with local knowledge to work out how rivers are working, how ecosystems are working, and how water can be managed sustainably. It is very much a two-way street. The second example is a project that was developed through one of the Australia Awards on running capacity building exercises over sustained periods of time on transnational water management, helping countries where water flows across borders manage water collectively. This partnership was developed with the UNESCO graduate, Professor Akemba, on the right, on your left there, my right, was an alumni of the University of New South Wales. She did her PhD in chemistry. She's now the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Eldoret. And there she is working, visiting our laboratories in Australia, working with some of our hydrology modellers, looking at the ways to put in information and telemetry and role-playing and scenario playing to develop strategies to manage water across the borders. Again, it's a multinational approach, so we have to look at many different jurisdictions. Water management issues in Uganda will be very much different to water management issues in Kenya, in Ethiopia, the Grand Renaissance Dam being a good example of that between Ethiopia and Egypt. The final project involves another UNSW graduate, Caitlin Barrett. Caitlin was very instrumental in setting up a program or a organisation called Love Mercy. And Love Mercy looks at seed loaning or seed banking, where small amounts of profitable or seeds that lead to profitable crops, usually oil-bearing crops, are loaned to women farmers. The loans are repaid by returning the same volume of seeds that were loaned to them in the beginning. The missing ingredient in a lot of the successful or sustainability of these programs is the management of water. So working through Love Mercy, we've had students looking at different irrigation systems, solar-powered pumps, pedal-driven pumps, forms of subsurface drip irrigation, which is highly efficient, that can be delivered and fabricated in the field. These are just some of the projects that the students have been working on to translate or take over to Uganda to work with Love Mercy and their clients who are participating in the banking program. In all cases, we're addressing real needs. The ideas are brought to us, or the questions, and it's developed in dialogue. The projects are then developed usually with people that we have a personal connection with. Ex-graduates, ex-students, partners, research partners. And finally, we think, how is this going to scale up? That's the mandate of the university. That's why Sarah Cook is in the audience from the Institute of Global Development at the university, giving us feedback, lessons to think about how these small programs can be expanded and scaled. So they're the three things: locally sourced or driven, partnerships, and we deliver them with a view to sustainability.